Hi, I'm Terry Dorsey at 96.3 KSCS. You know, we have a lot of fun every morning, and then KSCS plays the most country music all day by artists like, well, here's some of them now. Say hello to my buddy George Strait. Get rid of the hat, George. It's holding you back. The Judds. And believe me, gals, when I tell you this, I love you like family. And, of course, my close and very personal friend, Randy Travis. So it's...
For the most fun in the morning and the most country music, turn on 96.3 KSCS.
I just want you to pinch me because I know this is not that hard. I love this job.
Channel 5, KXAS-TV.
$81,000. Gone.
The man assaulted Trooper Reinhardt and went for his service revolver.
If we had not come to an agreement of sorts, American would have shrunk instead of grown.
The news continues with the night team. Brad Rice, Alice Carone, Scott Murray, and Harold Taft. And now, Channel 5 News Tonight.
Good evening. Alice is off tonight. I'm Larry Estefan. Dozens of businesses and private citizens tonight don't put much stock in the phrase as safe as money in the bank.
That's because they had money in the bank until the bank folded. Sure, the government says $100,000 per customer is insured and safe, but more than 80 of them had a lot more than $100,000. Our Larry Mullen says those folks may be out on a limb that just got sawed off.
Good afternoon, Deposit Guarantee Bank. May I help you?
Last Friday, Deposit Guarantee Bank at Yale and Central was Premier Bank. And last Friday, John Malio says he had $181,000 in an account at Premier until the bank bottomed out.
$81,000. Gone. Like it never existed.
Malios and 81 other people had at least $100,000 of their money protected by the FDIC. The rest is lost somewhere in this pile of papers. Federal regulators declared Premier Bank insolvent last Friday. For its bid of $90,500, Deposit Guarantee Bank was chosen by the FDIC to take over.
The thing about this is that the FDIC did not offer them the opportunity to buy the deposits, the total deposits, only the insured deposits.
Mike Byerly lost $23,000 in a payroll account. Part of his payroll had to be covered with money from other funds, so he's still out. FDIC officials say they almost warned people to keep their deposits to within insurable limits. Getting uninsured money out of a failed bank is almost unheard of, officials say.
The chances are that they may collect something, but at this point in time, there's no way of knowing how much and when.
We were told of one depositor who has close to $400,000 on the line. And in the case of a payroll account...
What are we supposed to do? Start moving money around, pay half of our people in one bank, half of our people in another bank? I mean, we're going to have, accounts up the yang all over the place.
FDIC claims agents are trying to put out all the fires. Questions have prompted some depositors to pursue legal action. Among them, why did Premier Bank fold? How did Guarantee wind up with it? And most importantly, why this transaction did so many depositors lose so much money? Larry Mullins, Channel 5 News Tonight.
A Texas state trooper shot and killed a motorist he had stopped to help today. Officials say 17-year-old Ronald Coble of Fort Worth attacked Trooper Mark Reinhardt. Reinhardt told investigators Coble wrestled his service revolver away from him.
Trooper Reinhardt finally was able to regain to some degree of control of the service revolver by biting the man's wrist. He couldn't break his grip any other way.
Officials say Reinhardt fired twice when Coble dived into the car as if he were going for a weapon. Coble died of gunshot wounds to the face and chest. Investigators found only a screwdriver in the car. The Johnson County Grand Jury will look into the case. This is Trooper Reinhardt's second fatal shooting. DPS officials say he killed a man who was threatening him with an axe back in 1984. No word tonight on why Coble allegedly attacked the trooper. Officials speculate Reinhardt stepped into a violent domestic argument.
6 Metroplex residents and several foreign nationals are behind bars tonight after a major cocaine sting operation by the Drug Enforcement Agency. In a news conference today, the agency said the Dallas-based Weber cocaine trafficking organization was cracked as part of a national marathon sting operation. The sting netted some 40 pounds of cocaine, with 15 people arrested, 11 in Dallas. Though considered a major bust, Captain E.R. Walt told Channel 5 the arrests are still not likely to cause much of a shortage of cocaine in the Dallas area. More arrests are expected as Operation Spring Break continues.
Carrollton police investigators tell Channel 5 News tonight they are awaiting autopsy reports in the death of a young Carrollton couple engaged to be married. The couple have now been identified as 32-year-old Lindsey Brian Houck and 28-year-old Lauren Hunter. The two were found asphyxiated in the garage of a home inside a car that was still running. Friends of the couple tell Channel 5 the two were engaged to be married and just last night attended a bridal shower in their honor. Police say the two may have stayed in the car talking and were overcome by fumes.
Looking for answers to a two-alarm Dallas apartment fire on Saturday night, Dallas fire investigators have only turned up two more questions. The bodies of a man and woman were discovered this morning by investigators as they combed the rubble of these apartments in the 3600 block of homes. Those investigators are tonight waiting on autopsy reports.
A special hearing on scientific evidence continues tomorrow in the Ron Trimboli murder trial. With the jury excused, experts testified on the validity of DNA testing today. The process, called genetic fingerprinting, has linked Trimboli to a semen sample taken from the scene of a triple murder in 1985. Trimboli is on trial for the murders of John Bradley and Renee and Danielle Lemure. Danielle was also raped. Fred?
The jail overcrowding crisis throughout the state of Texas is creating more than headaches for jail commanders. It's also producing profits. Channel 5's Tim Herrera tells us some jails are managing to make some money at the expense of other crowded jails.
Prisoners at the North Richland Hills Jail play cards on a crowded cell floor. 18 men are stuffed into a cell designed for 10. 60 inmates are staying in this lockup, built for about half that many. Most of them are someone else's prisoners.
We're running about 70% that are not ours, mainly Fort Worth and a few INS prisoners.
North Richland Hills charges $35 a day to keep out-of-town inmates. The city has made more than $150,000 this year holding other cities' prisoners.
For the remainder of the year, it could generate an additional $230,000.
However, washers and dryers are running 16 hours a day and wearing out. The city is paying a lot of overtime. It's not all profit. This is Johnson County's new jail that's only been open for a couple of weeks. The maximum capacity here is 304 prisoners. Right now they're holding about 155. So that means there are plenty of extra beds here. But these beds are expensive.
It's $54 per day.
And crowded county jails are willing to pay. Parker County is keeping several prisoners here. So is the federal government, paying top dollar.
Well, there's really no reason to work out a deal per se. If you have the space, there are people out there that are looking for that space.
And because empty bunks are growing in value, jail commanders say this is a great time to get into the jail business, because the business is out there. Tim Herrera, Channel 5 News, tonight.
A reunion is in the making in Arizona tonight. A reunion involving little Buffy, the 3-year-old abandoned in Arizona last week. Her father hopes to come to the rescue in court tomorrow.
And American Airlines officials are working tonight to avoid what happened 20 years ago.
If you'd like to wait just a minute, I can contact Delta.
The airline has a plan, and we'll tell you about it next.
Coming up next on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, you'll fall down laughing when host Jay Leno welcomes Anthony Perkins.
Take it from me, it works.
Then Full House's Dave Coulier's not quite himself. In fact, he's everyone else.
I love ocean life.
And it's the unique sounds of Leon Redbone.
Shine on, harvest moon for me, my cat.
Next.
Boy, you betcha.
When Bill Denby was in Vietnam, he dreamed of coming home and playing a little basketball. A dream that all but died when he lost both legs to a Viet Cong rocket. But then researchers discovered that a DuPont plastic could help make truly lifelike artificial limbs. Now Bill's back, and some say he hasn't lost a step. At DuPont, we make the things that make a difference. Better things for better living.
Am I blue? Am I blue?
Like all Marie's salad dressings, Marie's blue cheese is thick, rich, fresh, and absolutely delicious. But what really makes Marie's special, what really makes it great, what really makes Marie's just about the most amazing blue cheese dressing on the face of the earth, is that you'll find it in the produce section.
Am I blue?
22,000 American Airlines employees are in contract limbo tonight. The Transport Workers Union has rejected American's final contract offer. The vote gives the union leadership permission to call a strike, and this is not the first time labor negotiations between American and the TWU have come to this, as Channel 5's Mike Snyder reports tonight.
20 years ago, it came to this. 13,000 members of the Transport Workers Union walked off their jobs at American. The pickets grounded the airline and stranded thousands of passengers across the country.
If you'd like to wait just a minute, I can contact Delta.
It took American and the union a full month to reach agreement over a 25% pay raise, but that was back in the olden days of government regulation, when all of the airlines paid into a special fund to keep each other alive during strikes. In 1983, American was near a strike again with the Transport Workers Union, but this time the rules had changed. The government was no longer regulating airlines, there was no longer a strike fund to pay Americans' bills, and competitors were slashing into Americans' earnings with cutthroat discount fares. If mechanics and fleet service workers had walked off, it could have thrown American into financial ruin. But new American President Robert Crandall was ambitious, wanted to expand the airline, and knew he couldn't do it with the high labor cost saddling American. Crandall earned a place in aviation history by his next move, convincing union members he'd give them a 19% pay raise, guarantee jobs for life for current employees, but only if they would also agree to let him hire thousands of new employees on a drastically reduced pay scale. And as promised, American expanded like crazy, nearly doubling its fleet to 478 planes and almost doubling its number of employees to 67,000.
If we had not come to an agreement of sorts, American would have shrunk instead of grown. They wouldn't have had the expansion we've seen today.
Ironically, the pitch today is exactly the same as it was during labor negotiations at American 6 years ago. The airline saying it must have favorable union contracts to stay competitive. But as a payoff for the employees, American is also promising again, just like 6 years ago, to expand this airline at a blinding pace. And American has already ordered nearly 300 new planes this year alone, with a reported goal of a 1,000-plane fleet. And American says with each new plane added, it expects to hire 250 new employees. A pretty big pie in the sky, but one union executive who asked not to be named admitted American has a good track record of keeping its expansion promises, and says union members are not so naive that they would kill the airline that laid the golden ticket. Mike Snyder, Channel 5 News Tonight.
Terrorism worries all the airlines, and now a little more peace of mind is going to cost them a lot more money. But nobody can afford another Pan Am 103. Air terrorism leads off our look at national headlines tonight. These people had friends, relatives on Flight 103. They had just come from a meeting with the president 103 days after the explosion blew the plane out of the sky over Scotland, killing everybody on board. The government is promising more security, better security. It is ordering airlines to install equipment that can detect plastic explosive. High-risk airports are at the top of the list. But the government says there's no reason to tell passengers of a terrorist threat or search all baggage by hand. You're looking at what's threatening the economy, the environment around Valdez, Alaska, the millions of gallons of oil spilled from an Exxon tanker. The company is working to skim it off the surface, but has no idea how much damage it has done underwater to the fish that fuel the lifestyle here. Exxon says it's going to refloat the tanker tomorrow at high tide. In Washington, the defense in the Oliver North trial called its first witnesses today. A man who also worked for the National Security Council says the president put North in charge of the Contra supply operation in '84, just in case Congress tried to cut off the aid. And Ellen Garwood of Austin testified. She gave the Contras $2 million, but says North never asked her for the money. The defense is trying to portray North as a loyal Marine who was just following orders.
Following orders is not Fidel Castro's style, so he and Mikhail Gorbachev are talking over their differences at a 4-day summit in Cuba. The Soviet Union spends $6 billion a year propping up Castro's regime and is apparently tired of getting criticized in return.
First, the two communist leaders honored Cuba's national hero, José Martí, who died fighting for independence from Spain. That set the tone for the first official talks, where Gorbachev stressed his increasing interest in all Latin America. A tremendous future is taking place there, he said, but warned about the growing problems of debt and drugs throughout the whole region.
The situation there is extremely serious. It's almost a powder keg.
Насколько я даже бегло посмотрел.
In all their public events, Gorbachev and Castro seem like old friends. And Gorbachev seems to be avoiding any lectures to Cuba, which Cubans have made clear they don't want. The message today was not only Gorbachev's interest in Cuba, but his growing interest in all Latin America. Bob Abernethy, NBC News, Havana.
When we come back tonight, Scott will check in with the tales of tonight's NCAA championship. Who will it be, Michigan or Seton Hall?
And on this opening day, Pete Rose wanted to talk baseball, not gambling.
Freedom of speech. And in my case, it's freedom of no speech.
Scott has sports news in just a moment.
Arby's Steak Deluxe. Arby's Steak and Cheddar. Arby's new country fried steak sandwiches. Them boys taste real good.
This is a machine designed to make travel easier.
American Airlines.
No problem. I can check on that for you, sir.
Right on time.
And these are its most important parts.
No problem at all, sir. No hay problema.
Don't worry, we'll get it there.
You're all set.
The men and women of American
I can
Airlines,
change that for you. No trouble.
You have a good flight.
committed to making your trip something special.
No problem at all. No problem. Glad we could help.
Hertz presents #1 Club Gold, the fastest way ever to rent a car. Now, pay attention. That was it. Want to see it again? You go right from the plane to the #1 Club Gold area, where you'll see your name in lights. Your car will be warmed up and ready to go. There's no paperwork, no lines, nothing to slow you down. Just show your license at the gate, and you're off and running.
NCAA championship still underway, and what a game it is.
What a ball game. It's now in overtime. 3 seconds left. Michigan is trailing Seton Hall by a score of 79-78. 3 seconds left. Michigan at the line. They've got a 1-and-1 opportunity. If they make it, they tie it. If they get the second shot, indeed could win it. But right now, Seton Hall leads by 1 in the first overtime period, 79-78. 3 seconds left. Michigan at the foul line to shoot a 1-and-1. Elsewhere in the world of sports, Mavericks off tonight. They'll be in Utah tomorrow. Meanwhile, everything else quiet tonight as well in the NBA. Baseball news, Rangers open up the season tomorrow at the stadium, home against the Detroit Tigers. And already it is a sellout. Charlie Huff will be on the mound for Texas tomorrow. Earlier tonight, about 7 o'clock, manager Bobby Valentine ran the troops through a 2-hour practice. The Rangers opting to work out at night to get used to the nighttime conditions at the stadium prior to tomorrow night's opener.
You know, I'm just hoping that we win. It's the main thing. That's why I'm here. That's why we're all here, is to win. And, you know, it's extra special because it has a very big spot in my heart.
I think there's a lot of excitement coming into this season. I know our ball club has felt that we've done everything we've wanted to do in spring training. We have a real positive attitude coming out and feel good about ourselves, and now it's time to play for real.
It's nice to get back home and relax and start the season. I think we got a lot of high hopes and a lot of dreams. We think we got a great ball club, and there's going to be a lot of excitement here in Arlington.
Day 1 of Major League Baseball, President George Bush in Baltimore to toss out the first pitch. Orioles previously 0-4 on opening day. Presidential first pitches, but not today. It was 3-1 in the Red Sox sixth. And Cal Ripken rips a Roger Clemens pitch for a 3-run home run. Baltimore led 4-3. Game was tied at 4 until the bottom of the 11th. Craig Worthington became the hero. RBI single past Mike Greenwell in left. That was it. Orioles win it 5-4 in 11 innings. Blue Jays beat Kansas City. Toronto taking a 3-0 lead in this ballgame in the 4th. Nelson Liriano singles to right. George Bell around to score. Blue Jays behind Jimmy Key, able to go on to beat Kansas City, the final 4-3. On the American League board, Cleveland this afternoon defeated Milwaukee, Seattle, Oakland just underway. National League, the Reds defeated the world champion Dodgers 6-4. Former catcher and Hall of Famer Johnny Bench will be inducted at Cooperstown this coming summer, turned pitcher today, tossing the first pitch. Hitting was the name of the game, though, in the ballgame itself. Between the lines, Paul O'Neill was outstanding for the Reds. 3-run home run in the third made it 6-2 Cincy, and they would coast on. He was 4-for-4. And that would mean he leads the National League right now in hitting. A perfect 1,000. Mets beat St. Louis. Former Cardinal and new National League president Bill White got the call for the first time at Chase Stadium in New York. But on the field in the third, Howard Johnson was the key. Got the big hit for New York. Bases loaded single, part of a 4-run rally. Mets, as a result, went on to beat St. Louis by a score of 8-4. One of the game, National League. San Francisco, San Diego, that one just in the second. Off the field before today's game in Cincinnati, Pete Rose was introduced to the crowd at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. The reception he received mostly positive. Most gave him a standing ovation. Earlier in the day, however, he wasn't quite as pleased with members of the media. Again, he had little or nothing to say about his alleged illegal gambling activities. It's been a long spring for Pete Rose.
And what you're going to do is you're going to make my job a lot easier the rest of the day, because I just go sit in the bench the rest of the day and watch batting practice. I won't say a word to anybody. Because freedom of speech. And in my case, it's freedom of no speech.
Pro football, Mr. Jones will be going to Washington. That's right, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones will meet members of both parties, Democrat and Republican congressional delegations from the state of Texas. Also, Vice President Dan Quayle and President George Bush. Just a fun trip to the nation's capital, that coming up on Wednesday. It is now 80 for Michigan, 79 for Seton Hall. Still 3 seconds left.
A long 3 seconds.
What a ball game.
Thanks, Scott.
All right.
Scott. Well, North Texas tied a record today in the weather department when the temperatures soared into the 90s.
And Harold will check in from the Weather Center to let us know if more of the same is in store for tomorrow. Don't go away.
A meter long-distance copier, or fax machine, can reach out and send a copy to someone in just 15 seconds. Meter, or we make our great copiers. Call 1-800-ABC-METER.
When my husband got sick, I didn't think of anything but him. And when he died, I wasn't prepared. There were papers and bills.
She called the Citibank 800 number to cancel his Citibank MasterCard. I thought she might need it. So I asked her if she'd like it in her name instead.
You could do that, I said. I didn't expect Citibank to help me get credit. It made a difficult time a little easier.
Not just MasterCard, Citibank MasterCard.
Different people have different reasons for making Shell gasolines the best-selling in America. Some like the performance of SU 2000.
Put in the best.
Some like paying the same price, cash or credit.
Okay, team, let's go.
Some like the little extras you don't find everywhere.
Your front tire's a bit low.
The people may be different. The reasons may be different. But the choice is the same. Shell. Experience the difference.
Very heavy thunderstorms have formed over in the eastern part of the state. We had a report of a possible tornado 15 miles north of Canton, and that was about 30 minutes ago, however. And in Van Zandt and southern Rains counties, and all over here to the northeast, radar indicating possibility of some tornadic activity in those areas. Nevertheless, much of this region over here in East Texas is covered by a tornado watch until about 1 o'clock in the morning, and severe thunderstorms for Camp, Franklin, Hopkins, Upshur, and Wood counties until 11:15. So we've had some very heavy development along that frontal boundary over there, but nothing here in the Metroplex. So let's put our temperature up here and show folks what it is. 72 degrees. Okay, here are the high temperature. Well, let's see. 68 was the low, 94. Now that has been corrected. 95 is the high temperature of the day, and that is a new record for this date. 73 is the normal high temperature. It was 81 a year ago. Here are the high temperatures of the day. It was 105 down at Laredo today, but right along the coast where the humidity was higher, the temperatures were lower. 88 at Brownsville, 85 at Houston, 97 at San Antonio, 95 degrees here at the DFW airport. And you can see the temperatures around over the rest of the country. No really cold weather anywhere. On our, well, let's see. Here we come. On the satellite picture, you know, I want you to watch these thunderstorms blossom forth along this front. Watch them right in here. See, look at that. Let's watch it one more time. Nothing there at all. And then as that front moves down into the area, bang, there they go. Look at them, see? Just very explosive weather pattern. And as a result, of course, we've had some tornadic activity reported. That front is pushed down into Waco and on up into the northeast, but the squall line is pushed on out ahead of it. And it'll continue slowly to push on down to the south and generate more thunderstorms tonight, a little further to the south, down in toward Lufkin, College Station, and across Louisiana. But I don't expect anything here. Got some shower activity up here in Kansas and Oklahoma, but this is moving from the west toward the east. Temperature-wise, back behind that front, 71 degrees, DFW, 76 Dallas. And elsewhere, there's 57 up at Amarillo. The front is now past Lubbock, 63, 61 at Wichita Falls, not terribly cold. in the 70s and 80s down in South Texas, except Laredo, where it was 105. It's now 93 degrees. Here's the national analysis. At front, pushing slowly to the south, and the white that you see on here, of course, is the satellite imagery, and this is the radar coverage. This is all pushing off toward the east and toward the south. Here's the wind flow in the upper levels. Remember, I told you I thought we'd probably, instead of having so much west to east, we'd see this hump kind of form in here and then dip down and around in like this, and I think that's going to occur. When it does, it's going to pretty much assure us of some mild weather for a few days, and then a warm up probably toward the end of the week. And some clouds off and on now and then, but nothing intense that we can foresee at the present time. Temperature-wise, these are current readings as of 10 o'clock. And the computer's putting those on. 39 at Denver, 72 in our area, 48 at Chicago with the thunderstorms, 49, 50 along the East Coast, 76 in Miami. It's 73 down at New Orleans, and they can see all the stars tonight. So, our forecast for the morning, about 53 degrees. I think the showers and the thunderstorms will be on over to the east and south, and by afternoon, you should get up into the low 70s. We're going to call it mild. And thunderstorm activity all the way up into the eastern part of the country, and even some snow up here in Wisconsin and upper Michigan, and up in Idaho and along the Snake River and into Montana. So, outside, right now, it's almost clear. The visibility is good. The wind is out of the northeast at 10 miles an hour. The barometer, 29.73 at 72 degrees, 53%, and we've had no precipitation, but the radar certainly does show some very heavy thunderstorms from east-southeast of Tyler, north of Tulsa, over towards Sulphur Springs and Paris, and on off in towards Texarkana. So, on our forecast, we're going to call for generally fair skies, some high clouds. We'll look for cool nights and mornings and warm afternoons with the temperatures 72 tomorrow, and then on Wednesday about 70, but the morning lows will be just a little chilly.
Harold, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, remember the little Arlington girl abandoned last week in Arizona, told to hit the road by her mother?
Well, her dad is coming to her rescue. He hit the road today, headed for Flagstaff. An update on Buffy's story when we come back.
How NCNB Texas looks at home improvement loans. The new edition. At NCNB Texas, we look at loans from your point of view. How NCNB Texas looks at boat loans. At NCNB Texas, we look at loans from your point of view.
Richard, let's make a deal. You loan me your new Cutlass Supreme and I'll fill her up. Dad, Olds gave me a year's supply of Exxon gasoline. Marilyn, $50 to use your new Tornado.
I got $1,500 back from Olds.
Sharon, need help financing your Cutlass Calais?
I got 4.9 financing. Sorry.
This is not your father's Oldsmobile.
Hey, kid.
This is the new generation of Olds.
Make a deal on any Olds in stock by April 3rd at your Metroplex Olds dealer.
Finally this evening, George Orer left DFW Airport this afternoon for Flagstaff, Arizona. He'll meet with an Arizona judge tomorrow morning to prove that 3-year-old Buffy, the little girl we've been telling you about all week, is his daughter. Buffy, you may recall, was abandoned on a desert highway by her mother last week. Channel 5 news crews are in Arizona, and we'll bring you that good news story tomorrow.
And Michigan wins 80-79. Good night.
See you.